Alright, I'm going to start. So, this is Batman of the LEGO variety for the DS. And it's a game I played a lot. In fact, it was the first LEGO game I ever decided to speedrun. It's not my favorite, but this free play run is really cool. If you're not familiar with free play, well, let me show you right here. Gioco Libero. Um, I can choose any character to take into any level, and then the game auto completes a party that should have every ability in the game, which is going to be useful to break things open. Now, I may need to reset before time starts based on who it selects as my bomb character. I'm going to select Riddler and see what happens. And I'm good to go. Alright, so welcome in. I'm going to be playing through every level that can be played in free play. There's one level in every chapter that can't. It's only available in story. Those are the vehicle levels. That's just how these DS games worked in the beginning. I also have extras turned on, so, slightly cheaply, I won't be able to die to enemies, and I'll also be able to kill them in one hit. But for the sake of a nice flowing speedrun, that's actually very helpful. Free play is often not the best category in a LEGO speedrun, but the two that I am most fond of, it definitely is. So invincibility helps me cross this stuff, the green goop, as any character. Okay. Trying to attack, but I got pushed out of the way by my own friend. If we can call them a friend. The reason I picked Riddler won't really come into effect until later. But you'll be seeing me playing as my bomb character a lot, and on the bottom screen, they're a bomb character if they have that icon there. It has a very fancy name, technically being called a demolition canister. And hopefully, if I place one down, I just go through doors. So the reason I needed to possibly reset, depending on which bomb character I got in this level, is because there's one Mad Hatter who I'll be picking almost every time, but he can't make this clip. He makes every other clip actually a lot easier, but that is one that is impossible to make. And there are some doors that you just can't clip through either, but most of the time we can. This one I'm honestly not even going to bother. But I can set up for another trick that's pretty recent. This is called jump storage. So I store jumps and get a tiny bit of extra height from 3 characters. And then I use the pause menu to kind of buffer getting the maximum height out of it. It's quite hard to explain while doing it, and I didn't initially plan on solo commentating this. The world record holder is Shemcat, a very familiar name in the Odyssey community as well. He could not be here today, though, because he has an exam in the morning, and it's midnight in Britain. But we do enjoy the funny Catman in this house. This is an RNG boss fight, and I'm already at least 2 cycles behind, having to pull this twice to get to him. So will I be 3 or 4 behind, because I'm guaranteed to get at least 1 extra pull in the middle. You can get it so you don't have to pull a lever at all here. Oh boy. +4. Actually, I think I lied. The best option is +1. if he goes right, middle, right there. But I got left, right, left. So the whole reason I picked Riddler for this first level is just so I could guarantee someone who has like a a stick-like weapon. There's one character who actually has a sword, and it's kind of like that. But Riddler is just really a good all-around character because he also has a gun for a distance in this boss fight. And he can grapple and double jump and stuff, so I want to get an early shot with a gun there. And then every boss is going to eventually turn into a close-range punching match. So if you have something like the Riddler's cane, or the Penguin's umbrella will come into play, that's very useful for bosses. And every hero level ends in a boss. This is by far the longest level in the run, by the way. The reason I start with it is because it's at the end of a chapter, so I just save a tiny bit of time moving about the hub. This is also a very loud room because of all the mechanical stuff going on. Partway through this animation, I can character swap to cancel the animation. In some LEGO games, you can actually do it as soon as you press the button to pull that, but not here, unfortunately. That wasn't too bad of a level. It'd be 20 seconds behind right now, but that's because of the boss fight. Alright, so I said I was going to pick Hatter for a lot of levels because of his useful bomb clip setup. But before I get to any of that, I'm going to store a jump with every single character except my double jumper. Because I want to get over this fence. There we go. My planet needs me. And these guys are going to be annoying if I don't get them out of the way to set this up. Mad Hatter has short legs, so he walks a little differently. We can stand next to the door and then do like a brief, say, quarter-second diagonal press. And just set bomb clips up that way. Ooh, this glide is a little precise. I thought I wouldn't have enough height at the end and I would just barely bonk, but I was fine. Glide to get around draining all this water.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Shut up, Alexa? I don't know why she just talked to me. She's never done that to me before. Alright. This Poison Ivy boss fight is not really so much of a boss, it's just a room with stuff that happens. Yo, what's up, Andre? Welcome to the Sissant Club. Now, while I was practicing, in every run I did, don't tell anyone, all one of them, I forgot to push this block, which is kind of important to end this room. I'm going to save this one for after, like I usually do. And then because the AI is pretty dumb in this part, I always have to swap to them to get them closer and make sure I can pull both of those levers quickly enough. Alright, and as I said, I would save this for after. And we can just pull both of these to set her on electricity. I would have loved to say on fire, but Sith lightning will have to do. Revenge of the Sith. No, wait, that was last week. Alright, skipping over level 3, that's our vehicle level. In this one, I'm going to contradict myself and pick Two-Face because although there was a setup found for Mad Hatter clipping through this first room, I haven't learned it. Unfortunately, I do know a way to get through anyway. Because there's like a second gate behind this door, it's a bit of a complex process. I need to move player 2 out of the way, then use Robin's kick to get behind there, and then wait for a bullet, and I wasn't close enough. This time the bomb is too close. Oop. And put me through. There we go. That's what it's supposed to look like. So we should have another instance of jump storage here. Well, this is a grapple clip, hopefully. There we go. Ah, that wasn't enough. It's a little risky, only going for 2 layers. Okay, there we go. Simply hovering up right there. Player 2 is in shambles. They don't know my tricks. Now, these are all clips that I would absolutely prefer to have Hatter for. But instantly through the wall there, we love to see it. And another bit of jump storage. I can't even explain to you how ridiculously long this room is. It's probably like 2 minutes. This level in story mode is like painfully slow. I've messed up that. You may also see me character swapping as I jump into the space between the bomb and the door, and that's because it kind of automatically brings me to the ground to go through like that. Now, I have the Riddler again. Perfect. So that'll make fighting Freeze a little bit easier. Alright. This grapple clip is a little weird. Got it. It's done by essentially facing away from the grapple hook there, and then jumping up like right with your back right at it, and then at the last second at the peak of your jump turning. But this second one is for some reason really finicky compared to the first. So I have a backup over here where I can just grapple up and then glide around. That's embarrassing. Well, I would do that for this third one regardless. Because I can use the bomb through the wall. Brilliant. How about it? So this is definitely one of the longer chapters in the run. And now I go to the very first level where I'm going to pick Classic Batman. So I actually picked a different character in each level. Classic Batman gets his time to shine because of this first skip, which can only be done with Batman, but Classic Batman's punches bring you higher. So I use the spin punch to go up like that, and then immediately into a nice grapple clip, and then glide over here. And I unfortunately didn't get Hatter as my bomb character, so I'm going to build this travel chute rather than clip through. I got my least favorite bomb character, Crane, because the game puts him in the toxic immunity spot rather than the bomb spot. So I have to use touchscreen menuing when I don't particularly want to. I was supposed to bring an earlier brick, but that's okay. Here I can take advantage of like these bricks that you can put anywhere and jump up here. And then glide around, stay up high. And then hopefully get a good clip through here. That'll do. You can see I didn't go through instantly like I do sometimes, and that's something that I can basically guarantee with Hatter. Okay, I have one character that'll be good for fighting, and his name is Dick Grayson. With his magical blue rod, whatever it is. Nothing too much to say about this boss, unfortunately. Just in between every phase of punching him, he sends down a couple of goons. And that reminds me, we will be having save or kill the goons later in this run. I don't know how to run a poll, so if there are any other mods, it would be a good time to like run a poll or a prediction or something for save or kill the goons, but that's in the very last chapter of the run. You took your time getting over there. Alright, clay has been melted. And we can move on to chapter 2, hero mode. Ooh, I did something bad. So I ended the level as 2 heroes, and when you do that in the Batcave hub, it has to reset you back to Batman and Robin. So that's a little time loss that I forgot to watch out for. Alright, I get to pick Mad Hatter again for this level. Bionicle heroes. Yeah, you want to do a bonus Bionicle run? Alrighty. Okay. Usually that feller doesn't follow me all the way there. We have a funny skip coming up that you would think you might need jump storage for, but we've had this one for a long time because for some reason the collision just is. So Penguin and Bane want to block off our way with this blue crate, and I want to ignore it. You're supposed to do this whole puzzle to activate a train to boot it out of the way. I can just go to the corner here and clip up like that and walk on an invisible platform. Just Batman things. Thank you, Loud Goon. Small disadvantage right here. Because Batman is a very inclusive game, women are slower at pulling things down with a grapple pad. Because this game is very weird in that characters with the same abilities aren't clones of each other. As we know very clearly with bomb characters too. I need to prep some more jump storage here. Ah, I actually did an extra layer. This skips an auto-scroller. Looks like I didn't do too much, but I did, trust me. Source, trust me, bro. Bane is a boss that I can't just beat because he's too strong, I guess. I remember being disappointed to find out that Bane was not, in fact, invincible when I unlocked him. He just has super strength. What you have to do instead is kind of say Jebaited and have him run into walls. And while he's doing this one, I can actually do a little animation skip or get this travel animation while this little cutscene plays to save a couple seconds there. And drop a crate on his head. In a second here, I'm going to have him ram into this little broken crate to completely break it. Rah! So true, Bane. He says,
So, you came back to die with your city.
and Batman says the worst line in all of the Dark Knight trilogy. Alright, now I have to bring him over here again because they're going to get a cage out. And this should be a good setup for another travel skip. No, he's backed me into the corner. I'm going to have to get around this little edge here. I got it. Okay, nice. And that is Bane. Ah, no, I trapped Barbara Gordon as well. She did nothing wrong. Rooftops. Actually, I don't need to do any clipping in this level. Believe it or not, it's probably like the only one. I'm not entirely sure, but because of that, I'm going to pick Penguin because gliding is a pretty big focus in this level. Penguin's a very good glider. And also, his umbrella, as I mentioned earlier, guarantees that I'll have something good to fight the boss with. Now this was an early skip that I found. By using these poles, you can go the other way at the end, and then just land on that security camera, and jump up to here. Another glide, goes slightly up the snowman's arm, and there we go. And then up this ladder, another glide, over here. We're coming up on the Loss fence jump because PC Batman Runner Loss played this game for like 20 minutes when I met him the first time at ESA, and he found a skip. Like, I'd also like to point out that it's not a skip he should have found. It's not this one, but this fence just doesn't have collision at the top there, so speedrunners now take advantage of it to get up here. And I missed the grapple clip. Didn't get the full movement there quite so successfully. But here we are. Glide over into the Catwoman boss fight. So her gimmick is that she's jumping around these 3 platforms, and I have to watch which one as I fight the Penguin Goons. She's gonna jump somewhere. I don't have enough time. Yep. I can just about tell from the way that she jumps from her original platform which way she's going if she's on the far side. And obviously from the middle where it is now, it's a lot easier. Shemcat's IL had a really crazy good boss here because he was able to... So Catwoman went to the same platform every time, and he was able to keep player 2 there and just swap between characters. I don't know how easily replicable that will be, but an IL worth watching. Alright, the sewers, and right now a long stretch of, I think, 5 levels in a row where I'll be picking Mad Hatter. First of all, this skips multiple minutes because you're not meant to go through that door in hero mode. Oop. I need to get both characters up there, but the AI has its own mind. I'm able to manipulate that if I get them both on that container. I need both characters up here because these levers deactivate too quickly to get with an animation cancel. Now, the bad news is I don't have anyone that's good for fighting Killer Croc. I could fight Killer Croc with Killer Croc, but it doesn't go as well as you would think. But hey, I'm not going to PP today, so why not show it off anyway? Killer Croc fighting Killer Croc. Nothing special, it's just a couple of Killer Crocs punching each other. I do find it kind of a fun Easter egg that every wall he opens to free the goons to fight us in between phases, it goes in order of like each chapter's goons. So we started with Riddler and Two-Face goons, and then Penguin in the middle, the current chapter. And chapter 3 has Joker goons. Based on the main villains in those chapters. Arctic World, Hero. Pretty smooth level leading up to the boss fight. Simple clip here. And then some simple glides across. Okay, that's actually quite unusual to get stuck there with Mad Hatter. Then skipping the jumps across the water here. La-di-da-di-da. Seems like you're skipping so much and not that much is happening, but this is just a really fun, nice flowing speedrun to play. So we're fighting Catwoman again because Penguin is too much of a coward to have his own boss fight. But I actually want her, thanks to invincibility, I want her to just push me through this force field. She's being really slow about it. I can activate 2 cutscenes at once by blowing up my bomb and stepping on the button. And then same thing on this side. I'm actually not going to even fight her at all, but get the same result as if the boss fight had ended. Don't really know what causes that, but sometimes you can get 2 battering targets with 1 battering, and then just pull down the crystal and end the level. With the boss very much alive. Alright, that's Hero Chapter 2 done. And one more Hero Chapter, and then we can move on to the villain levels, which are a lot shorter, mostly because they don't have bosses, but we just skip even more in them, to be honest with you. The hero record is 39 minutes, and the villain record is 25 in those ranges. So far you will have seen jump storage to get up height, but in this next room, I'm going to get just a little to cross a gap. I did my buttons in the wrong order. And then I couldn't character swap, which is something that happens if player 2 is dead. There we go. And right now I'm just waiting to be able to character swap so I can clip through this door. Here's another trick involving a blue brick. I actually could just use jump storage here, but I think it's cooler to show this off. Because of the setup you have to do for jump storage, it doesn't really save that much time. Jump on this blue brick to get up here. And clip through another door. So there is a strat that was found, I don't remember who found it, to get across to the boss platform. It's not faster, but I'm going to show it off anyway. So yeah, I can just... There's supposed to be mind-controlled police officers. Here they are. That pull it for you. Oops. But from over here, the thing is it's really hard to actually hit the battering targets and not have them ting. All this really does is make sure you don't get hit by the stuff that Mad Hatter's doing up there. But we met the incentive for the extra showcase that I'm doing, and I figured that could be a preview of it. This is another really long level, but it's had a huge time save thanks to jump storage. We'll get there later. I mean, it still has a really obnoxiously long boss fight, but a lot... Previously, this level was kind of ending in 4 minutes of boredom, and now it only ends in 2 minutes of boredom. I'm really selling it, I know. Alright, follow me. Come on. Come on, player 2. You can do it. This is a weird, like, its own room existing entirely as a cutscene. If you play story mode, there are no animated cutscenes outside of the levels. Like, you just get slideshows. Oops. Didn't want to fall down there. The way they tried to sell it was it's like comics. I think it's just they needed an excuse for after the LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga cutscenes were so bad. Okay, this is really finicky to do because I have to keep moving to throw this batarang and not break the umbrella I'm standing on. But she keeps targeting Harley, which I don't want. messing this section up quite a bit. So this is the 2-minute long room that we're now skipping most of. Starting with this jump. And then skipping all the way up here. This is a bombable door. Red and white objects can be bombed open, although it hasn't been activated technically, so we have to clip through there to complete that skip. Alright, and our boring boss sequence begins. I mean, the boss doesn't really happen until the very end, and hopefully it'll make quick work. But it's just, this whole room has such a long lead up to it. Well, technically it has 2 bosses because I have to mess with Joker first. He's going to throw these toxic balls at me, but if I hold the attack button to defend, even if I had invincibility turned off, they would actually do nothing. And they're decently useful right now because I don't get knocked back at all. So now they're going to do another round of the roller coaster while I beat up the Joker goons. Can't save every goon in the run. And then we have to wait for these targets again. How about I swap to Nightwing, because he's got batarangs and he'll be good for fighting Harley, who will jump down as soon as this ends. Alright, and let's see if I can get Harley done with before the roller coaster comes and she jumps out of the way. She's resisting quite a bit. Yeah. And I didn't get out of the way, but... Alright, get back here. It was 1 heart away. Not really a whole lot you can do. Melee bosses, as they all are. But bosses are just... not much you can do to guarantee landing a hit in close range. Alright, this is a level that has been the most impacted by jump storage, actually. Because we can entirely skip 2 rooms at the end of it, and in fact never even see the boss. But before we get there, I have some invisible walls to glide around. Perfect. And once we get into the second room, you will see this room later as the 3rd room of the villain run. I'm supposed to cross to the left side and use a door up there, but I'm actually going to go back here and then do another clip that I can't see and enter a room that should only load in villain mode. Now, almost every case you can do this on console, it crashes. This one, for some reason, doesn't, and you can end the level through the villain door and just skip the boss. And it counts as a hero clear, we assume, just because it puts you out there in the hero hub. And this is our last hero level, in fact. Gotham Cathedral. Unfortunately, in both versions of this level, there's really nothing too special. I picked Two-Face just because there's a clip that's easier for me using Two-Face. Because there are some funny angles for you to approach the doors in this level. And you'll see that first at the end of this room. Might be a little far from the door, but I should... Oh, get in there. No, I think it was too far, in fact. This looks better. Okay, we actually went straight through there, which is pretty rare. Excuse me. Oop, that's definitely too close to clip. And that might be a little too far, but I can try and do the turnaround method. Because of the way walls work, they want to... If you're stuck in a wall, the game wants to push you out of the wall. But if you face the opposite way that you want to go, it'll actually kind of push you sometimes. I forgot to do a little bomb setup here, but that's okay. It's more of a story mode strat, but you can place a perfectly timed bomb before you activate the cutscene with those goons jumping down, so that they die as soon as they hit the ground, timed perfectly with the bomb's explosion. Right. This is the one different pad. Catwoman can actually use the acrobat pads and the grapple pads, so she can be pretty useful to have here. In fact, like, the characters that I've been picking are just my preferences for the most part. Ah, that one's not going to work. It's a really tricky clip, but player 2's right there. But for example, Shemcat likes to pick Catwoman in this level. She's definitely not the definitive fastest option, but it's all because there's a lot of climbing in the level as a whole, using both grapple and acrobat pads. So if this were just a hero run, time would be at the end of this, and I'm going to be looking at my timer to see roughly what time I get. Should stay as a 42. Oops, that... Okay, that's not where I hit on the touchscreen at all, but that's where it registered. And actually, I just noticed my DS is on low. So I may take a brief pause in between the hero and villain segments just to set it in. No rush. I'm not going to PB all levels run either. Oh, come on. B42. Oh, he got away. Alright, well, that would have been a 43 flat. Okay. Let's plug this in. It's reading green now. Silly old DS. I'm going to plug it in anyway. Yeah, I know this is still technically timed for all levels, but I'm going to take a drink now, too. And now we move on to the villain portion. So, just for the sake of going with my splits, I'm going to start at the back of this one as well, because it'll give me the best chance for a faster time. In villain mode. And the villain mode begins in 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So around 44:11 was when the timer starts. If this goes well, I'm hoping for like a 112 maybe. So I don't want to go through there, which I almost did, because it's what you do in hero mode. But I want to go over so that I don't activate people I have to fight coming out. This is a very finicky setup right here, with a frame perfect press that I actually got first try. Very nice. Because on the other side of that vault, there is like a little ledge on the ground that you have to jump past. So in order to get up it and clip through the door, you have to press jump and then up on consecutive frames. Which in this case is 30 frames a second. So I'm pretty sure this is the only blue brick machine I have to do in the run, and there are so many in story mode that you have to do, but in free play, I think this is the only one we can't skip at this point. What I can do is, as an animation cancel, just character swap to put it down. In theory, you have to bomb that to open it, but you can just double jump slam. An oversight or something, I don't know. I don't know why that would be different from any other bomb containers. You can't do it to this one. And we have to use this one because it's our only real way of getting into the door to end this level. Alright. Pretty decent start to the villain run. Now, I picked Batman Classic a couple times earlier, but now I'm going to pick regular Batman, who has a slightly lower spin attack. I was pretty confused as to why I wasn't getting this trick when I first went for it, and it turns out it's because Classic Batman can't do it. We don't know why, and it also looks like a really stupid trick. And to be honest, that's because it is. It's pretty stupid that it works, and I didn't successfully store jump height with someone there. That's like one of the only instances, well, there are only 3 instances of jump storage in the entire run. Oh, I forgot. I can actually do it up here too, so I lied. I just realized I forgot to do this in my practice run. I did the old method. But now, regular Batman just punches twice and goes through the door like that. Pretty silly. Now I can also hopefully get jump storage with every character to get up here. Oh, it didn't give me the pause. That's rough. And I didn't jump store with her correctly. This is really hard to do because like the fence clip I did in the hero version of this level, I need to store jump height with everyone, which if your timing is off, like you don't even necessarily know it until you're attempting this trick. And again, on the same character not giving me the pause. That's really weird. finally we're up there, and we're perfectly on the bomb character to hopefully go through here, but yeah, it looks like I was too close, so no going fast in this level, unfortunately. I botched just about everything, but that can certainly happen in a level like this where there's just so many inputs in a row. And then other weird factors that I'm not quite sure why they weren't in my favor. But we move on to a nice short level. Who do I even want? I think I just want Hatter. I forgot. This is a nice short level. Now we technically could do another full party storage thing. Oh, I lied. I wanted Batman Classic. I got Bruce Wayne though, who's the same, which is lucky. So that I can do this. But yeah. You can just do a full party jump storage up here, but it's even more precise than the last one because you need to get like a good height storage with everyone, and it's just way too inconsistent for me, and it takes a long time to set up. That for me, I've just found that I'd rather leave that to a task, which there isn't in this category, but there is in Villain Hunt, which I'll show off for a little bit after the run. Get on the button, dude. Oh, that's backwards. Whoops, we already did that. There's a glide in this level that I particularly want Penguin for, and I got Hatter, who could potentially be bad news on this first clip, because there are two clips that are really bizarre in this level. There we go. That actually worked out for me. The reason I picked Penguin is for this glide here. I just like his glides better, and I need to get over this fence. Unfortunately, I didn't show off why I like him. That's what happens to me with almost any other character. But that skips a room in the sewers. And then the bank clip is another weird one. Oh, come on. Well, what I can do is place another one like that. But just to get in this little vault here, get out of the way. I'm just trying to use this panel, and it isn't letting me. But I need to open that vault full of gold, and that ends the level, and that, in turn, ends our first villain chapter. 2 left. Gotham Docks villain is a very special level to me because I've been running since Bruce Wayne works. I meant to hit Classic Batman, but he works just the same. I've been running since 2018, and this was the first level before bomb clips were found where we had to skip in every single room. It is sadly not going to be shown in this one because bomb clips have made it obsolete. You would think that we would find bomb clips before the Batman clipping tech that I've shown off a couple times and will in this level as well, But no, bomb clips came a lot later. But there's also this brown box clip up there. Now aided by having a bomb clip to get out of the room. Ah, the bomb's placed too close. That's always something that can happen without your Mad Hatter bomb set up. Now this room is a big one because we can use the Batman punch to get out of bounds there and then glide around and into the trigger to exit the room. And then there were 2 methods found to just skip this room entirely as well. Really simple one, on top of this box, double jump on the roof and fall down there, which ends the level. It's kind of a nostalgic level for me. I really need Penguin in this level actually, because of a trick called Agony. I'm not looking forward to it. It's probably the trick that I look forward to the least anytime I do a run. Although I never actually think about it until I get to it. It is for the best. Grapple clip up here, jump on top of these pipes. Maybe do a little door clip. Let's see. Yeah, going straight through. There really isn't that much jump storage in Villain compared to Hero. This is the biggest one, and it's a pretty simple one. In fact, I'm not even going to pause buffer. But before, I just barely couldn't cross a gap to skip this 2-minute section. But now I can. There we go. And over we are. And this is Agony. There's just a little gap here. I'm 2 for 2 since coming back. It is not easy. There's just a tiny little gap, and the most consistent method we have is jump attacking with Penguin like that. You don't even need to do that. You can just like barely inch towards it, and that works too. But jump attacking is just much more consistent for one reason or another. I know we have plenty of Odyssey fans on this channel, and I call this split dino skip because you build a dino at one point, and as it turns out, you can do a small skip in it because those lasers have no collision. I should be dead passing through them like that, but not on that side. I'm going to try to... I didn't get it. So I wanted to get another little animation travel skip there. You can take a little bit of advantage of having 2 characters here to just swap between them and get a little bit more building done in a slightly more efficient manner. Just like as soon as I pull this, I'm going to swap to them to get right up near the end of the level. This is one of the longer villain levels. I'm not sure if it's the longest. Now I am going back to the sewers. Good old Mad Hatter level. Couple of clips. Pretty easy breezy. Not really much of a level here. This time I don't even need player 2 to follow me because I'm taking a different exit. This room is used in both Hero and Villain. And then one more clip to get out of this room. Unfortunately, even with invincibility turned on, your building does get paused if you get attacked. Oof, didn't want that either. Instead of shooting, I had to dodge. Well, I didn't have to, the game forced me to. Now, the villain run mostly flows really well. It was for a while the case that... Wait, who do I even need? I think it's just Hatter again. For a while there was a case that there were 3 really slow points that you can't skip, and now we're down to just 2. The one in rooftops I already skipped. This is... Oh, we'll have back-to-back levels with big, boring, unskippable sections, unfortunately. But we're getting on to... This glide may look familiar at the start, but it changes up a little bit because of the villain exit. It's called Glidey McGlideface. Harder than it looks, actually, that second one. But no problems today. Okay. I guess the bomb was a little bit too far right. It's unusual to get a Mad Hatter clip denied just like that. And here we are. There are 4 corners of the room that I just have to pull these switches on. Now this one does actually have a skip and TAS due to something called ladder storage, which is frame perfect. Oh, but also you have to get ladder storage on, I think, at least 3 characters. And ladder storage is extremely finicky to get just once. It has only one application in story mode, actually, in the one level where you even can character swap to store anything in the first place. But here we go. All things considered, this room isn't too awfully long. Ah, I didn't realize Clayface was a flopping character. That is something to be wary of when dropping down from that room. Some characters flop, some characters don't. Here's a pretty cool trick to... I mean, here's a pretty cool trick that just clips you up there like that. They say 3rd try's the charm. Usually that's pretty consistent, but if your positioning is just a little off, it won't work. Alright, we only have 4 levels left in this run, which I'm very, I have to say, relieved about. I do enjoy this run quite a lot. But I was maybe slightly under practice for this one too. Here is another level where I need to pick Classic Batman for an upwards clip. If RNG were nice, it would have given me Mad Hatter, but nope. We can actually see one of these upward clips right at the start. Just stand on this container, punch up, go through like that. So now a little glide across here. And then here's another blue brick machine that we get to just skip if I can even walk under here. Thanks to these upwards clips, and I didn't land on the top part of the machine. Got there second time. Got another... Oh! So that's the clip that Snod was talking about the other day. Whoops. But no, we have another clip right here where we just go up like that. Lots of skips. And one more bomb clip into the last room. Unfortunately, that other very slow part that we can't skip. And there are really just no ways theorized to skip this one because this is just how you end the level. You have to do load every color to its corresponding place. Come on. Hit the one that isn't active, silly. I don't know why the auto target allows you to hit targets that have already been used. I positioned myself so that I would be immediately on the button when that ended, which I can also do with a yellow one on this side. Okay, I clipped the blue. That's bad news. We get to spend even more time in this room. I wish I could spend more time showing a little bit more tech, although I will do that after the run. Oh, if anyone in chat has any preferences for save or kill the goons in the next level, let me know, like, right now. They technically get saved in every run because I just run right past them. Although in story, there's no way to skip them, so they die in every story mode run. Kill the goons? Alright. Wow, says a Niv. So true. So this will, like, add a minute or so, but that's fine. At this point, I'm definitely underestimate anyway. Although my PB just finished and I have 3 whole levels to go. This was the first level in the run to be sub-minute, by the way. It may still be the only one, but it's like even more so now. Alright, so you're supposed to get bricks from all of these goons, but I'm not really interested in that, but that goon died. And then there's one that I have to dunk into the goop here. Oh yeah, I do. Have to build the target and then goon gets gooped. But yeah, I'm really not interested in these bricks. The other one is in there, it's like a crane game and stuff. Although you don't get to play it, you just do stuff that makes it happen automatically. But consider the goons killed. That's something you have to do every story mode run. It's quite funny. I can't. Okay. That's annoying. It didn't let me place a bomb. Which opened the gate and caused an extra cutscene, but it is what it is. We're done with that level. It was still short even with the extra goon killing. 2 levels to go. I forget how long this level is. It may still be possible to get sub 115, which I'd be pretty happy with. These glides also a little bit harder than they look. there's a certain technique that I'm using that isn't very easily visible. And then there's just this really wacky floor drop here. To be honest, I don't even know why I'm not getting it right now. It should look like that. Hatter is actually a necessity for this level, because anyone can clip into these gates, which we have to do to open a door that for some reason is not clippable. But only Hatter can clip out. We don't know why, but that's how it works. We know Hatter is very different in how he places the bombs in the first place. This one I don't even need to clip out of though, because I can just swap to player 2. And hey, it's that room from earlier where I entered the villain room in hero mode. So I have to do this clip here and then do another blind clip like last time. Okay, it didn't place the bomb. That's kind of a hidden difficulty with the blind clip, is that you don't even know that you placed the bomb because it's touchscreen activated exclusively. This is kind of like a grapple clip, except there's no grapple hook there, but it works in the same way. Anyway. Oh yeah, that was a quick level. This should definitely be sub 115 until I do something dreadfully wrong in this level. Who do I even want here? I guess let's just use Catwoman, Shemcat strats. I don't remember who my splits say to use, but it's... No, it probably is Hatter, isn't it? Oh well. So a 114 would still be 7 minutes off my PB, but there are a lot of like input dense sections of this level where things can go wrong, or of this whole run, I mean, like lots of consecutive inputs and stuff like that. And considering I'm also commentating this by myself, which is not something I would ever encourage doing through a lot of jump storage, yeah, I will definitely take that. Shem better ace his exam tomorrow morning, though. Oops. Yeah, this time I shouldn't have to change characters for the whole climb up. Catwoman is definitely a solid choice for this section. I just really like having Hatter to do consistent clips. It's also very useful when the AI is Catwoman because they're just right there ready to open this door with me. Alright, one final application of jump storage. It should usually only take one layer, one character. Let's see if I'm going to get proved right today. Proven. I'm not. I have the second time though. And the run is about to be over. $114.19. I think that beats the first jump storage record. I know it beats the record from before jump storage, so at least it wasn't for nothing. Now, I have a little bit more time because we already passed 400 pounds. Tomorrow is the last day, so don't slow down too much on that donation goal. But I would usually submit like a villain hunt showcase. Eden just wrote Batman showcase because it's Batman, but something we can do. There is a side mode called Villain Hunt with a couple of exclusive tricks. To start with, I'm going to show off a level that just has really nice exclusive movement. Level 4 here. So there's like 10 additional villains who are nowhere in the game, but you can play 10 of the levels all over again. Not all over, but you can play 10 levels again where a villain is hiding somewhere in them. I think it would be really cool if there was like a roguelite version of this, but they're in a set location every time, which also happens to make for some fun routing towards them. You have a set party every time, and one of the difficulties that I have going in between categories is that the locations on the roster for the different abilities, it shuffles around a bit. So I like having my bomb character in slot 8 because I can use the bumper buttons, but in Villain Hunt, always slot 5, unfortunately. So this was something that we saw near the beginning of the run. This section. But there's some really... Oops. This boss is hiding in an area that is like a side area. There's a mini kit up there. And to get up there, I can just use the jump storage once to get past this train. And all the while, I'm actually staying left to avoid activating the cutscene where Penguin and Bane dropped that blue crate from earlier, and there is Mr. Zsasz. So that's the whole idea. Now, for easily the coolest trick in this game mode, we would head to Black Mask stage, although I have to get there first. I think I'm going to show off levels 4, 5, 6, and 7 for a few reasons. 6 doesn't have any exclusive tricks for Villain Hunt, but it does have a trick that I really want to show off. It's my favorite trick in story mode that we didn't get to see because it's obsoleted by bomb clips, but I want to show it anyway. And then after I show these 4 levels, I will hop off. Not sure who's following me. Okay, I don't know why that didn't work, but I probably just wasn't pressing up the whole time. Yeah, I'm not sure who's after me, but I have just a little bit more time to get ready. Alright. Right now, the same stuff is happening. The level's pretty much the same as before, just with different characters. But this time, when I fly over here, I'm going to get myself... I would do this a lot faster in an actual speedrun, but this is just a showcase. I'm going to get myself wedged under here, and then use Batman Spin Attack to just get pushed through the ground, and then just do a bunch of character swaps, spams like that, and land perfectly on the bottom shelf where Black Mask is. It's over fast when the trick works, and I'm really happy that I got that first try. It's a really tricky part of the run. The character swaps are just to maintain a little bit of height and not fall too fast. Jump storage actually is detrimental in that for some reason. Okay, struggling to do this clip with SWAT officer. For this run, you also have to be really good, which I'm not right now, with clips without Mad Hatter. Please put me through. There we go. So I'm going to get back to the third room. And in fact, I'm going to go to the final room of this level as well, although you wouldn't usually for Villain Hunt. So Firefly is actually, I'll see if I can just show him on screen to show where he is. He's right up there. But my favorite trick in story mode, because it uses an old technique from a bit back before bomb clips were found, is to just get slightly stuck here using the fence. Can't get it right now. This is really tricky to do. Get pushed back through and then back behind here. Which I'm guessing for Villain Hunt, they've just completely blocked off this going anywhere, which is fair enough, I guess. But in a story mode run, or in fact what we used to do in free play, getting behind this wall here would take us to the next room. I actually have never attempted this in Villain Hunt, so I had no idea that there would be nothing, but I'm currently fully alive, and I guess I'm soft locked. But I wasn't going to complete that level anyway, I just wanted to show off that clip. Not only is the positioning into it hard, but you have to, once you're in the wall, press right as if you're going to exit it, because that makes the stuck wall failsafe thing push you back into the other side. And you have to start your glide really early too, so that you don't do a full jump and then clip out vertically as well. And this is the last one I'm going to show. This is another really cool frame perfect skip to start. Again, okay, I didn't quite get clipped in there. Ah, I'm not quite getting it. Pressing a little too early, I think. There we go, now I'm in, and I can get behind the gate, and that's our story mode skip. That was actually something that LEGO Star Wars DS Glitch Hunter found. His name is Lord Magecar. He found so many things in that game. And, you know, a couple times he's looked in this game, he's found stuff like that as well. And he was actually really surprised to find out that we do that in RTA runs because of the difficulty. Here is Glidey McGlideface again. Whoops. And to end off our showcase, I'm actually going to send a character just into the water, which there is no swimming in this game. Water equals death. You don't need to glide to get the skip to work, but it's generally safer because you can hit more parts. There's a door. And the level ends just like that. And that is because the character is hiding behind that door. So the intended solution is to do that entire really long, boring room again. Open that door, you see the character just standing there. Not much of a hunt, really, when you're just revealing yourself like that. But turns out we don't even need to open the door to end the level. And that will be all for the Batman DS showcase today. I had a lot of fun.